famous Miami Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. Tonight we close out Week 7 with a good Monday night matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Miami Dolphins. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
If you just break it down in individual terms, he played really well last week. 0 interceptions, 3 touchdown passes. Not a whole lot more he could have done to win that game. But you know something's funny, when we talked to him, all he focused on were throws he missed, other opportunities that didn't get done.
Good sign of a leader.
Great sign of a leader because they didn't win, and that's all he cares about.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3. Look at the starters defensively for the Dolphins. They were strong last week, CD, and that went over New England.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Shane Ray in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22.5 set in 2001. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. That'll be a 48-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football.
Go now. 18 Gator. 54. Nice 54. 3 bucks.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll look to throw. Here's Higgins out on the right side. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That goes for a gain of 31. That's evidence of why you spend a high draft pick on a receiver, isn't it, Charles?
It certainly is. His ability to make plays like that, and we've seen flashes of it from him so far in his rookie season. But also, it opens things up for the rest of the offense because they have to bring their attention to him as well.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it, that's going to be 15 yards.
Go. Give me that ball, defense. Give me that ball. Go.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. But it's going to be 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. 2nd and 10. Ebron with it over the middle. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Steps away. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Raiders pick it up. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. A bad 3rd down mistake there.
Points were already on the board in their mind. And that's the worst part about it, right? Because it's just like in golf. Never count it in the cup until it rolls in there. Otherwise, you can really get messed up with your scores. In this case, you know they thought, hey, at least 3, maybe even a chance to get 6. It's a little bit demoralizing going off the field. Now you've turned it over, and you come up empty.
Yeah, if he holds on to that, at least the field goal on 4th down. Now they lose it. On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down. That's his longest run of the 1st quarter. And, Charles, we talked before the game about them needing to establish the run game. They'll be looking for more of that.
And they got to the perimeter. So that tells me that that's part of the game plan of what they want to get done today. So they'll have some complimentary runs where he'll run it to the inside. But it appears that when they want the big yardage, they think they can get to the outside and make it happen.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
The numbers for him from a week ago: 6 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown.
And he was able to get open there, but that's not always easy against this bunch defensively. We are deep enough into the season where numbers count. This is the #1 rated defense in the NFL. He'll have a tough time.
And the tackle there will go to Charles Harris.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
From the 39, Carr, man open left side, it's Williams. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A gain there of 21 yards. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone. All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers putting their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football. They're in the midst of a nice drive, but facing a 3rd and long here. From the gun, it's Carr. And this is going to be incomplete. Now Matt Bryant on for the field goal. From the right hash, it's a 41-yard attempt. The kick by Bryant is good. And the Raiders jump out to a 3-0 advantage. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first point. It's a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who can gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
It feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yes, make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that, because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple.
General West. Hey, orbit.
They'll run with Hunt on second down. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They're going to look to throw. And an alley to run. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Interception, baby, all day, all day.
Well, this is one of the downsides of being a rookie quarterback. You know you're going to get called out about everything you do that goes wrong. Here, maybe he's a little uncertain about where to go with the football. And at this level, uncertainty equals turnovers.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Tyrell Williams, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Raiders add on to their lead. Now Matt Bryant on for the point after.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, They have refined route running ability.
And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just...
Looking for Stills here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Carl Joseph. Stills the intended target.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
A gain of 6 there on first. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Looking to throw again on second down. Carr, and this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. The strong safety, Jaleel Adai, right there in coverage. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. That's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Come on, set. 10 logo. 54 Mike. 80 weapons.
They'll begin the drive with Hunt. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Second and 11. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Holding offense.
So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
They'll drop to throw. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Well, that'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. Now let's discuss Antonio Brown as he heads back out there now. Not only does he not have a catch, I don't think he's been targeted in this game, but they're winning.
And if you ask a receiver of his magnitude, he'll tell you that it's because everyone is focused on him anyway. Okay, you've taken it away. No catches, no targets, but we're still winning. I've opened things up for the rest of my team. I know how receivers think.
They've been using him as a decoy, and effectively so. Now, a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
And you just know when that play call came in, their eyes lit up, because anytime you get a chance to take a big shot downfield, that's a lot of fun, and they missed an opportunity.
From the gun now on third down, Carr, and that is incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
Kareem Hunt and the rest of the offense making their way back out there. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Brandon, so many times we see the crossing route start as a quick hitter, but in this play, he had time in the pocket and waited for him to clear going across.
On first down, it dropped to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now throwing on first down and completing it. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Now after the run by Hunt, here's 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, able to make the play defensively.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here and 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield. for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. On 2nd and goal, the lone man in the backfield is Hunt. 2nd and 1. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down just inside the 5-yard line. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. They've been denied touchdowns in the red zone twice already. Here comes 3rd and goal. Back to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. From 4 yards out. And the Dolphins able to get this back within a touchdown. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. A lot of football, full half to be played. 14 seconds, all that's left to this first half as they come up on 1st down.
Check 3, check 3.
And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. In on the stop defensively, Raekwon McMillan.
1-yard gain brings up 2nd and 9 at the 23-yard line.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. So we have reached halftime in what's a 6-point game at the break. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA. The second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. This is fielded at the goal line. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Here's 2nd and 8. And he completes it to Hunt.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. They'll set up to throw. And Wilson has it. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he get a good head of steam going. I have to think a major focus at the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level. It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets them to 2nd and 4.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stop that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The Dolphins on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. And he connects with Ebron. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. A very well-executed play. It goes for 29 yards. And that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow, incomplete?
Yeah,
what happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Kenny Stills, his 6th touchdown of the season. Now the Dolphins have tied it. Now they can take the lead with the extra point. Certainly there are good things about quick strike offenses that score fast, but a long drive can also work to your advantage as well.
In so many ways, Brandon, because number one, you get them tired, but the big one is mentally. They can't figure out how to slow you down, how to get off the field, how to get the ball back. They go to the bench wondering, what are we going to do next time in order to stop those guys?
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the...
Blitz coming, and down he goes. How about the safety, Minka Fitzpatrick, swooping in for the sack? Well, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And
now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Raekwon McMillan in there to drop him, and sacks on first and second downs. Now leads to a 3rd and long.
So, Brandon, we sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
On 3rd and long, it's Carr. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, we quit counting yardage on that one, didn't we? That was truly 3rd and a mile, wasn't it?
It was. I thought they might just go underneath, but they didn't. They wanted to get the first down there.
Yeah, they tried to pick up the huge chunk unsuccessfully. I'm with you. I would have tried to take some yardage just to gain some field position.
And Quigley now on to punt as he sends this one away. Let's take it inside his own 40. That'll be a 47-yard punt, officially 5 on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And they've got the lead here getting late into the 3rd quarter. The passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that, but the rushing game almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way. Take some time off the clock and keep the ball away from their opponents.
And here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Higgins. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown. A 24-yard touchdown. And the Dolphins add on to their lead.
And remember, partner, that's a rookie quarterback back there. Apparently, he's getting the hang of this NFL thing pretty quickly.
Have 3 touchdown passes. You're right, he looks comfortable. What are they doing? Anything in particular?
Well, they keep talking about making sure they're giving him plays that fit his talents and also maybe shrinking the playbook a little bit. They did tell us that. Bottom line, he's really good. So
they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it winds up in 6 points for the Dolphins. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. To throw is Carr. Wide open receiver complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Not too many teams that use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. Nice little catch and run to get the good yardage.
Here we go.
Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And he'll be marked down deep on Miami's side of the field. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. The big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. Add this gain to the last one, and they moved the ball over 50 yards in 2 plays.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What, is it 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A 5-yard touchdown catch. And the Raiders move back within a couple of the lead. And now the Raiders will face an important 2-point conversion attempt here. To throw, it's Carr. And that is incomplete here. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Lock it.
They'll start with Hunt on the ground. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. My music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this 4th quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
On first down, they'll run with Hunt. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Kareem Hunt, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins are able to grow their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. Shotgun now for Carr. It's caught on the right side. Williams. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Carr now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Working from the gun, it's Carr. He's airing it out for Williams. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Tyrell Williams. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Raiders have cut it back to within a score.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Bryant's extra point up and good, and that will shave one more off this lead. Comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from you.
There he goes, right side. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Kareem Hunt, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Dolphins add on to their lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Tyrell Williams heading back out onto the field now. When you're in a zone like he is, what's the conversation like on the sideline between he and his quarterback? Is that a one-way conversation of, hey, just keep getting me the football?
It actually is probably a two-way conversation because he wants to keep getting him the football because he's seeing the payoff. You know, getting the ball to that guy means yardage, and as we've seen, touchdowns in this game. So I think both of them get more and more excited about the possibilities as things continue on.
Yeah, so far it's been over 100 yards and the 2 scores. But correct me if I'm wrong, you're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Now a play fake. Carr. He's going to float this one deep right side. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jaleel Adai. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
To begin the drive, here's a handoff to Hunt. And he'll get it up to the 12-yard line here. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
They'll run on first down. Hunt, and a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. It'll be a gain of 2, and speaking of 2s, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Dolphins have it as we welcome you back in. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. On second down now, it's Hunt. And this will be a pickup of 4 here, up to their own 20. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. The Dolphins on third down. They've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. They'll look to throw here. They're able to locate Wilson. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
Recon, 132 fighter. Flipper.
They'll run with Hunt. Now the Raiders going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. They run again with Hunt. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
Let's go, defense. Our time. It's our time.
On first down, Hunt. It's the linebacker, Brandon Marshall, there on the tackle.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. They'll run. This is Hunt. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50. Charles, why didn't they just take the knee there?
You're asking the question that I'm asking as well, because we've seen a lot of football where coaches decide maybe they get a little greedy. I don't know if they're doing it for stats or for what reason. We've seen it happen in college. And how about in the NFL? The miracle of the Meadowlands. All they had to do was take a knee and the game was over. The Giants ran it one more time. Ball popped free. Philadelphia picks it up and wins the game.
What year was that?
1978. I think it was in November.
Starting to look like this drive, it may be the final nail in the coffin.
Well, this is why you work out so hard, right? This is why you spend all that time in the offseason. This is why you have those OTAs and minicamps for these situations, these scenarios, to run someone into the ground and secure a victory.
Face mask. Defense.
They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
Now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Looking to throw. Oh, no, he lost the football, and the Raiders have recovered. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it, and they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Dolphins, their winning ways continue as
up this magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror now, I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laughing. Now I hit the scene, they like lights, camera, action. Living in a dream, now my music, they be blasting. Step out, I'm a star, always in the latest fashion. Had to set the bar, try to catch me lacking. Bank account for my son, he won't have to struggle. You can see it in my eyes, all I do is hustle. They tried to knock me off my feet, I'm ready to rumble. Feel like I ain't ate in weeks, working off the muscle. Oh yeah, oh my, we ride for my brothers, no lie. All you can die, never wrong, they right. I ain't changing my side, yeah, we in it for life. When I've been magic, with the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic.